Money is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. That quote, spoken by a great scholar, has echoed through the centuries. But here's the real question. Have you, perhaps unknowingly, allowed money to become your terrible master through behaviors you don't even realize you're doing? Today we're going to talk about a topic that might just make you sit up a little straighter. A topic many people would rather avoid, yet it's at the very core of nearly every financial struggle you're facing. There are actions you take, seemingly harmless, even considered normal, that are silently choking your financial flow. They're sending out the wrong kind of signals, and in return, you're receiving exactly what you've broadcasted: bad results with money. Today, we're going to break down 3 of those dangerous behaviors, and the first one, which I truly believe you need to confront honestly and decisively, is theft. Theft. The act that strips integrity from your flow of abundance. When I say theft, don't rush to imagine dramatic crimes like robbing a bank or breaking the law. What I want you to look deeper into are the unconscious acts of taking, those subtle ways we disrespect the value, effort, intelligence, and time of others. Because in the flow of wealth and abundance, the concept of theft is far broader and more intricate than you might think. Here's what you need to understand. Money is not static matter. Money is moving energy. And when you take the energy of someone else, whether it's a small item, an idea, or even a moment of their time, you're sending out a frequency of lack, of I need to take, instead of creating or attracting. It's as if you're saying, I must take something in order to have. And believe me, that mindset will invite similar experiences into your life. Scarcity, loss, and blockages in your financial flow. Your money stream gets jammed because you've unknowingly built invisible barriers through your own actions. How does this kind of invisible theft show up in your daily life? Take a closer look. When you borrow money and don't pay it back, or you promise to but constantly delay until the other person gives up, that's theft. When you borrow a book or item from a friend and it somehow just disappears into your house, or you return it damaged without offering to make it right, you're stealing value. And money doesn't stick around those who don't honor what they already have. Or when you use shady tactics to steal someone else's client, when you pull tricks that sabotage a coworker's ability to finish their job, or when your actions intentionally drain someone else's income stream. Even using company property or someone else's belongings without permission, just because you think it's no big deal or they probably won't notice, that too is a form of theft. These behaviors reflect a lack of respect for boundaries and an entitled mindset that says, I don't need permission. But when you take something that wasn't freely given, you're creating what I call an energetic debt in your finances. And one small act can grow into a massive imbalance. The law of cause and effect will always return it to you, tenfold, 100-fold, because what you take without alignment must eventually be paid back with interest. And here's a form of theft most people never consider: stealing time. Time is more precious than gold. Unlike money or material possessions, it's the one asset you can never buy back. When you show up late to a meeting without a valid reason or fail to notify the other person in time, you're stealing their valuable moments. You're sending out a vibration of waste. And yes, that energy disrupts the flow of your finances. If you make a habit of showing up late or wasting other people's time, chances are the money that was on its way to you will slip right through your fingers. And even worse, you may find that you simply can't hold on to wealth for very long. And there's something else, something that's become far too common in this information age. Knowledge and creativity are sacred assets of the mind. When you copy someone else's work word for word, post it as your own without giving credit, you're committing intellectual theft. Or when you dodge taxes, bypass copyright rules using tools and tricks, that too is a form of petty theft. What you're really saying is, I'm not capable of creating something original, or I don't have enough to pay my fair share, or I can get away with cutting corners to save a bit. Trust me, what you save is small, but what it costs you is far greater. Here's a deeper truth you need to understand. Anytime you engage in theft, no matter how small, no matter how subtle, you're breaking a foundational law, the law of fair exchange. Everything you receive in this life must come through an equal energetic exchange. When you take without offering something of equal value in return, you create a vacuum, an invisible debt, and that debt will always find a way to balance itself out by taking something from your life. More often than not, it takes your money, or the financial opportunities you've been waiting for. Ancient wisdom speaks about this with powerful clarity. If there's any people who deeply understand the connection between integrity and prosperity, it's the Jewish people. They are among the most prosperous communities in the world, not because of miracles, but because of the moral principles found in the Talmud, a sacred collection of Jewish teachings and ancient laws. Respecting the property of others isn't just a matter of legality, it's a life principle. It's an integral part of your relationship with the flow of abundance. In Jewish tradition, another person's time is considered sacred. Being late, wasting someone's time, these are viewed as serious acts of disrespect. There's even a concept in Judaism called Geneva Da'at, which means stealing one's mind or deceiving their intention. This refers to creating a false impression so that someone unknowingly does something that benefits you. For instance, pretending to be interested in a project just to extract secrets from a partner. That kind of cunning, that lack of transparency, creates chaos in your energetic space. And money, true, sustaining wealth requires sincerity in order to flow freely. To truly see the devastating consequences of this principle being violated, just look at the Enron scandal. This massive energy corporation didn't collapse because of a bad market. It collapsed because of fraudulent accounting and a complete breakdown of integrity. The company's leaders stole trust, transparency, and corporate resources. The result? Thousands of people lost their jobs. Billions of dollars vanished. It's a perfect example. When you violate the principle of integrity, you don't just lose money. You destroy the foundation of everything you've built. Or take Bernard Madoff, who orchestrated the largest Ponzi scheme in history. He stole tens of billions of dollars through lies and deception. In the end, not only was he sentenced to life in prison, but all of his wealth was stripped away. His story is an extreme, but very real, example of how any form of theft, no matter how cleverly disguised, eventually leads to collapse and total financial loss. Clearly, failing to honor the property of others, whether it's material possessions, time, or intellectual work, is not just a legal or moral issue, it's a direct sabotage of your own financial flow. It sends out a signal that you don't believe you're worthy of abundance, that you must take to have, and the law of fairness will reflect that belief right back to you, blocking the natural and abundant flow of money into your life. If the first thing I shared with you was about theft, then this second one is an even more subtle form of theft, one that turns inward. It's a quiet self-sabotage you might not even realize you're doing. Selfishness, that mindset of thinking only about yourself, of being afraid to give. You might be thinking, I work hard for my money. I have every right to keep it for myself. And yes, you do have that right. But here's the question. Has that right been keeping you locked inside a reality of scarcity? Has it been making you feel restricted rather than fulfilled and prosperous, the way you truly desire to feel? Look closer. As I've said before, money is energy, and the nature of energy is movement, flow. When you cling to it too tightly, what are you actually doing? You're choking it. You're turning what was once a flowing river into a stagnant pool, one where nothing new can enter. But why is selfishness, this unwillingness to give, so dangerous to your financial well-being? It's because it violates a simple but powerful universal principle, the law of giving and receiving, or as many call it, the law of attraction in the realm of abundance. When your mindset is only about taking care of yourself, when you close yourself off and hold everything tight, you're broadcasting a loud, clear message to the universe. I don't have enough. I'm afraid. I need to hold on. And life, in its absolute fairness, will match that exact frequency. You'll feel even more lack, even more fear, and the flow of money to you, it will slow to a drip, or worse, shut off completely. Now, let's be clear, caring for yourself is not wrong. In fact, it's a natural survival instinct. But when your entire life revolves around self-preservation, when you can't be generous with others, when you're always trying to gain the upper hand, fearing someone else might get more than you, then your accumulation can only take you so far. It may sustain you for a while, but it will never create lasting abundance. Think about it. How often do you generously help others, give money away, Offer a gift or treat someone to a meal? Probably not very often. Yet generosity and service to others, those are the seeds, the very roots of true prosperity. Not hoarding, not saving for the sake of fear. When you give even a little, you open the door for more. What you give out, whether it's kindness, money, or time, comes back multiplied. You give one, and life returns 2, 3, or more. I'm not saying you should blindly give away all your possessions. That's not generosity. That's foolishness. The generosity I'm talking about is a state of consciousness, a recognition of the natural flow of abundance. So how do you begin to shift this? Through the power of generosity. Let's look at philosophies that have stood the test of time. In many spiritual traditions, like Christianity, there's the teaching of the tithe, giving away 1/10 of your income. This isn't just a religious obligation. It's a powerful symbolic act. It represents total trust in the abundance of life. When you're willing to give away a portion of what you've earned, even the smallest part, you're declaring to yourself and to the universe, I am not afraid. I believe there is more than enough. That act of giving stretches your inner space. It creates room for more to come in. You can start small, a meal for someone less fortunate, a sincere piece of advice, a smile, or a heartfelt thank you. These simple acts ripple outward with powerful effect. Money, at its essence, is like blood in the body. Money is the blood of the economy. And just like the human body, a thriving economy depends on healthy circulation. When blood is blocked, the body weakens. And when money stops moving, when everyone is clenching their fists around what they have, the economy stalls. Look at the wealthiest individuals in the world. They're not just excellent at earning money, they're often the most generous in giving it away. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they've pledged to give away the majority of their wealth. Why? Not because they don't need money, but because they understand the law. When you give sincerely, you create a space to receive more. That is the natural circulation of wealth. This is the heart of generosity in both business and life. Create value for others first. Instead of asking, what's in it for me, ask, how can I serve this person? When you focus on solving someone else's problem, you create value, and value is always rewarded. Serving others is the fastest path to wealth. That's not just a nice idea, it's a law of economics proven time and time again. When you help others succeed, your own success multiplies, because you've become an essential part of the value stream. Selfishness, the habit of thinking only of yourself and being afraid to give, is a dangerous form of attachment. It doesn't just strangle your financial flow, it suffocates your spirit. Free yourself from this bondage. Learn to give, not from a place of lack, but from a deep knowing that when you open your hands, life will fill them with more than you could ever imagine. Here's a powerful tip to unlock the flow of your finances. If you realize that you've been involved in behaviors like borrowing money and not repaying it, stealing someone else's clients, using company resources for personal gain, or habitually being late, as we talked about in the theft section, then know this: those actions create invisible, energetic debts. And here's what you need to do to start clearing them. To balance out that negative energy, take action. Do at least 3 good deeds with pure generosity, no agenda, just a full heart. Help a friend without expecting anything in return. Donate to a charity that truly speaks to your soul. Offer your time and guidance to someone for free. These acts are not just kind gestures, they are tools for liberation. They are how you begin to cut the cords of energetic debt and allow money to flow back to you, freely and fully. Make this a practice. Every day, do 5 beautiful things for others consistently for the next 90 days. Through this, you'll plant a field of seeds strong enough to shift even the most stagnant, blocked financial situation. The flow will return, and it will come back multiplied. If the first 2 blocks we've talked about, theft and selfishness, the fear of giving, are behaviors that directly or indirectly choke your financial flow, then this third one is far more subtle, yet equally dangerous. It silently eats away at your inner power, your ability to create wealth from within. I'm talking about envy, jealousy, and resentment toward the success and abundance of others. You might think, but those are just feelings. Everyone gets jealous or complains sometimes. And you're right, emotions are human. But when these emotions become a habit, when they turn into a default way of seeing the world, they're no longer just feelings. They become destructive forces, invisible barriers that you place between yourself and the abundance you crave. So why are envy, jealousy, and complaining so dangerous to your financial well-being? It comes down to how you perceive success and wealth itself. When you envy someone else's achievements or possessions, you're unconsciously making a declaration. There isn't enough for everyone. Their gain is my loss. This is a scarcity mindset. It's a belief that abundance is limited, that life is a brutal competition where every win comes at someone else's expense. And when you carry that belief, you send a signal loud and clear. I don't believe in sufficiency. I don't believe there's enough for me. And so, life reflects that right back to you. You remain in a cycle of lack. Sadhguru often says, the root of envy is the feeling of not being enough. When you're envious, your focus is locked on what someone else has that you don't. And that blind focus makes you miss the very opportunities that are right in front of you. Instead of learning from their success, you waste your energy tearing it down or resenting it. That is a tragic misuse of your creative power. Whether in business or any part of life, if you can't celebrate the success of others, you won't be able to attract successful people into your world, and you certainly won't be able to learn from them. Jealousy isolates you. It disconnects you from the stream of knowledge, mentorship, inspiration, and opportunity. It's not just a toxic emotion, it's a closed door, one that you and only you have the power to open. And when envy evolves into jealousy, it becomes even more toxic. It's no longer just wanting what someone else has, it's wanting them not to have it. This is a form of spiritual poison. It doesn't just corrode your relationships with others, it quietly destroys your own soul. A jealous person can never see their own path clearly because their eyes are glued to someone else's journey, secretly wishing they'd stumble. But wealth, real abundance, requires clarity. It requires focus. And you can't create prosperity with a mind clouded by resentment and petty judgment. William Penn, the American philosopher and founder of Pennsylvania, once said, "The jealous are troublesome to others, but a torment to themselves." Think about that. Jealousy is a punishment you inflict on yourself. Look at the metaphor of crab mentality. When one crab tries to climb out of the bucket, the others pull it back down. It's a vivid image of what jealousy and resentment look like in real life. If you constantly try to drag others down with complaints, criticisms, or comparisons, you don't lift anyone. You just stay stuck in the same bucket. You'll never rise. And worse than jealousy and envy is the habit of complaining. Complaining is a declaration, a repeated announcement to yourself and the world that you are a victim, that everything is against you, that you're powerless to change. You complain about prices, the government, your partner, your clients, your fate, but every time you complain, you fill the air around you with negative energy. Ask yourself this: would you want to spend time around someone who's always whining? Of course not. So why would opportunity or money want to be around that energy? The flow of wealth, the current of opportunity, is drawn to places of gratitude, creation, and responsibility. Complaining is the voice of someone who refuses to own their power. It's a sign that you're slamming the door shut on help, on growth, and on new possibilities. Think about the people you know who are always complaining. Is their life getting better? Probably not, because they're stuck in a loop of negativity that only attracts more things to complain about. Carrie Fisher, the beloved American actress, once said it perfectly: "Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die." The same is true for complaining. You poison your own field and then wonder why nothing good can grow. So how do you shift this? How do you break free from the grip of jealousy and complaining? Through the power of gratitude and appreciation. These are the direct antidotes to envy and negativity. When you witness someone else's success, instead of feeling threatened or bitter, practice genuine appreciation. Celebrate them, truly. See their success as living proof that abundance is real, that it's available, and if they can have it, so can you. When you sincerely congratulate someone, you're expanding your own inner capacity to receive similar blessings. This isn't fake positivity, it's awareness, it's alignment. And instead of complaining, train your focus on gratitude for even the smallest things. Be thankful for the breath in your lungs, the work you get to do, the people who support you, and the chance to grow. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states you can enter. It instantly shifts your energy, and with it, your reality. Gratitude turns you into a magnet, a living, breathing invitation for good things to find you. When you're grateful, you're declaring to the universe, I am already full, I am ready for more. That's the mindset of abundance. That's how the flow begins again. So there you have it, 3 seemingly harmless habits: invisible theft, selfishness born from fear and envy, jealousy, and chronic complaining. They're not just enemies of money, they are shackles. Heavy chains you've unknowingly wrapped around yourself, choking the flow of wealth, joy, and the very life force within you. You can continue living bound by scarcity, fear, and resentment. You can keep blaming the world, your past, or your fate. That's your choice. But if you truly desire a life where prosperity overflows, not just in your bank account, but in every area of your existence, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind, then it's time to choose a different path. This isn't just advice, it's a law. Don't just listen to these words, live them. Give freely, not from lack, but from the deep knowing that you are already enough. Celebrate the success of others as if it were your own. Release the bitterness, the old stories, the anger that's kept you stuck. You'll begin to see that the miracle doesn't come from out there, it begins inside you through your own transformation. Try it, test it for yourself. Because life isn't something that happens to you. Life is something you create. And the true flow of abundance? It's already waiting for you to set it free. Start today.